we are running through our calculations for simultaneous equations. So what we are doing is we are working out the coordinates of a point where two lines meet. And we'll be able to do that with a graph nice and simply. If I had a line drawn here and a line drawn here, I'd be able to work out the points where the two lines meet without too much difficulty on my graph. But now I'm working out how to do it algebraically. So I've got equations of two lines, and I'm going to use algebra to work out where those two lines meet. So we have our set of rules on the board here. I have a picture of it on Google Classroom as well. So the first two are really important to make sure that we're right, and then we're using our algebra to solve. Okay? So first thing, we should have our x value or our y value with the same number in front of them in both equations. And then we have to find out whichever one that I've decided to work with. If the x's have the same number in front or the y's have the same number in front, then I have to make sure that they've got opposite signs. We'll see in the example in a minute. Then I cancel what I can and I solve, I work out what either x or what y is, and then I use that value to work out the other one. So the way it goes, I can see the example I'm doing here is question 17 from page 441, and I've got these two equations here. We have 3x minus 2y is equal to 4, and 2x plus 3y is equal to 7. So you guys can see I don't have the same x or y value because there's a 3 in front of the x and a 2 in front of the x, and I've got a minus 2 in front of the y and a 3 in front of the y. So I don't have the same value yet, so I'm going to have to change them. Let's look at rule 2 and see if I have that. I've got the x or y should have opposite signs. Now these are both positive, but these ones do have opposite signs. One of them is minus and one of them is plus. So I'm going to work with the y's, okay? I'm going to work with the y's because they are the ones that have opposite signs. So I'm going to use y, and now I'm going to fix them so that they have the same number in front of them. So I want this one to have minus 6y, and I'm going to make this one have plus 6y. So if they have minus and plus 6y, I can cancel them. So to do that, I have to multiply, and I've got to change everything in each equation. So in this one, to make it minus 6y, I've got to multiply by 3. So I'm going to times everything in this equation by 3. So 3x by 3 gives me 9x. 3 by minus 2y gives me minus 6y. And 3 by 4 gives me 12. Now the reason I've picked 6y again is because 3 goes into 6 and 2 goes into 6. It doesn't have to be 6 every time. It depends on the problem. Okay? So I've multiplied that out, and those two are the same. I've just multiplied by 3. In this one, I have to times this by 2, because plus 3y is going to become plus 6y. So I've got 2x by 2 gives me 4x. 2 by plus 3y will give me plus 6y. And then 2 by 7 will give me 14. So now I've multiplied these out. Let's look back at my rules. My x and my y value are the same in both equations, and I'm looking at the y's. They're both 6. So I'm happy with that. I've ticked rule 1. Rule 2, the x or the y should have opposite signs. And they do. One of them is plus 6y, one of them is minus 6y. So I can tick that rule as well. So number 1 and number 2 is done. Now that I've done that, I'm going to cancel them. So I combine the two equations now. I've got minus 6y plus 6y will give me 0, so I can forget about them. I've got 9x and 4x gives me 13x. And I've got 12 and 14 gives me 26. I've combined the two equations now after cancelling. I'm cancelling and solving. And in this one, I'm going to find out what x is first. So I've got 13 times x gives me 26. To work out what that is, I'm going to do 26 over 13, which gives me 2. So now I know what my x value is. I'm going to use this x value in one of these equations to work out the y value. So I substitute in x is equal to 2 to work out what y is then. So I can put it in, and I'm going to pop it into the first equation up here. So I've got 3x minus 2y is equal to 4. I now know what x is, so I'm going to substitute that in. And now I solve for y. So I end up with 6 minus 2y is equal to 4. I bring the 6 over, it becomes a minus. Minus 2y is equal to 4 minus 6 minus 2y is equal to minus 2. So then y is equal to minus 2 over minus 2, which gives me 1. So now I know my x value and my y value. To finish off, I would usually put those two together as answers. So I could say x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 1. Alternatively, I write it like a point because I've found a point where these two lines meet. 2, 1. X, y, like my x and y coordinate of a point. So that's how we do them. If we follow the rules and we take it step by step, we should be able to solve any of these. Thank you very much.